Of course. The savior of the legions, Lucullus Wonder Kid. I knew you would be here.
Oh, I can leave if this is a private conversation.
Nonsense. It's a party after all. What would be the purpose of these gatherings if we refrained from conversation? I am Aurelia Cotta. Marcus and Lucius are my brothers. It's wonderful to meet you, Legate. We were just talking about you anyway.
Of course we were.
You seem confrontational, Marcus. Did I do something to draw your ire?
Other than saving his life?
Lucius!
Oh, please, let him talk, Aurelia. Let everyone witness the failure of Marcus Aurelius Cotta. The man who got himself captured and let his nephew die. The consul who had to be saved by a homeless runt.
To speak frankly, I think none of this is your fault. Living your life was an honor.
Rest assured, my brother is thankful for that, Legate.
But how about the weather these days? A bit bleak, isn't it?
Really? Are you so eager to display your shallowness?
I am interested in heavenly phenomena.
Well, I'm not.
You were speaking of me in good terms, I hope.
We were discussing how you saved my brother's life and became the hero of the Asia campaign.
Everyone knows the value of a great leader like Marcus Aurelius Cotta. It would have been a crime not to save him.
Yet my son Gaius was not valuable enough to be saved.
You are Gaius' mother. Though I knew him only briefly, I considered him a friend. His death pains me, but there was nothing I could do.
I apologize, Legate. They told me you had become close despite how briefly you knew each other.
I brought this home after your son died. The blade of his sword.
Oh, it's broken. This sword was my father's. It was called Croquet Morse. You were friends with him, weren't you? However briefly. Why don't you keep it? I think I still have the old schematics for it. I'll have a servant bring them to your villa tomorrow.
I think I'd better leave. Something tells me I upset him. Oops. Why do I have a feeling like I really upset people really easily? I'm just really good at it, apparently. Let's talk to Cicero, or Cicero as most people just call him.
Salve. I've heard a lot about you. I am Marcus Tullius Cicero.
I've heard a little about you as well.
Is that so? Few people beyond the political circles would know of me. My reputation depends largely on who's talking.
Isn't that true for everyone?
To varying degrees, I am sure.
What do you do, Cicero?
I'm an advocate. I defend those whom others seek to incriminate. But I'm sure a career soldier such as you would find the topic rather boring.
Not at all. I am fascinated by legal matters.
Indeed. I suppose that makes sense, especially considering the predicament you're in.
Are these all friends of Lucullus's?
That depends what you mean by friend. Your Patronus Lucullus is a consul. Many people would claim to be his friend. There's a difference between knowing someone and merely knowing someone's name, though. Are we friends?
You seem to get along, I think so.
It's easy to get along at a feast as fine as this. It's quite another thing to get along after we have butted heads on the Senate floor.
Well, they Cicero.
That is absolutely unnecessary. I'd spend it all on farmlands. People need their food.
Indeed they do. But what good is food if it's obtained by illegitimate means? What do you think about it, Legate?
It seems I've walked into an ambush. Clearly, my scouts have failed me.
Fortunately, I know you are good at handling ambushes.
Spoils of war, unaccounted for and untaxed. Should they be used for development to feed the people of Rome? A simple question.
Of course, the ends justify the means. It doesn't matter if you're morally superior when you're starving.
Not all means. But Roman law is valid in Rome. I do not see why we should act as if barbarians are subject to it. Meet Senators Marcus Porcius Cato and Marcus Tullius Cicero, who will be acting as your attorney tomorrow. At least I hope so.
Unfortunately, things have developed differently, my friend. I've decided to represent Tiberius Vitellius Scaevola instead.
That's interesting. Why are you here then? Aren't we your enemies?
Enemies? Most certainly not. I am an advocate. I just represent my client in a specific matter.
Certainly an interesting turn of events. But I've heard you talking disfavorably about the Vitellius brothers before. How do you justify defending them?
What I justify hardly matters. I seek to represent them to the best of my ability, so justice can be served.
If that's what the system requires, I guess it makes sense.
Precisely. The rules exist for a reason. One must understand the reasons to challenge them.
Rules should never invalidate the reasons for their existence. Morality is beyond law. Legate, what guidelines did you follow when you had to decide the fate of that Triarchus? Why did you have him executed?
I wasn't sure if he was in league with the enemy, but I could not afford the risk. Decisions that seem simple in times of peace can become arduous in war.
I'm sure your decision proved more arduous for him. I wonder, exactly how utilitarian are you in your thinking? I heard you had the opportunity to bribe a hired guard protecting a spy.
Stop interrogating the man, Cato. Not everyone must adhere to your high standards.
I'm not comfortable. Sorry. It's alright, Cicero. I did have that option.
Yet you did not take it.
Loyalty bought with denaries is worthless.
A point well taken.
Depends on the denarii, I suppose. Well, gentlemen, this discussion has become too hypothetical for my tastes. I bid you a good day.
Wale, Cicero. See you tomorrow.
One final question, before I retire as well.
You and your questions, Cato.
I believe if you wanted, you could enter the Pomerium fully armed. Why didn't you?
That rule as old as Rome itself. Disobeying it would be to disrespect our society.
Indeed. In betraying Rome, you would betray yourself. This has been an interesting conversation, gentlemen. I thank you for it. But now, with your permission, I shall leave. Welate.
Wale, Cato.
I don't think that went very well, personally.
You look tired. Shall we leave?
Not yet. Yeah, let's
You
leave.
look tired.
Indeed, I'm exhausted. Let us leave.
So, did you enjoy yourself?
That's one word for it. I have mixed feelings.
That is what life is.
God damn it, Cineros. How the fuck do you keep leveling up before me? Prick. Dude, just being awesome like that. Let's just get the fuck out of here. I don't think we played that very well. But it is a little matter. It's not a matter I can do much about now.
As per today's augury, a specific issue stood out as being of utmost importance. I bring forth the following relatio, the result of which is to be decided per discussionem, and as usual before the sun sets. The complaint is brought forth by Lucius Licinius Lucullus, concerning alleged wrongdoing and infamous conduct by Tiberius Vitellius Scaevola and his brother Vibius Vitellius Lurco. Are both parties present?
I am present.
As am I.
Weird that Vitellius Lurco would be here to do the talking. Where is Scaevola? He is the accused.
Are both parties represented?
I shall represent the defendant.
And I shall be making the case against the defendant.
Very well. For the benefit of all present, would the owner of the complaint restate their accusation?
We believe defendants Avibius Vitellius Luco and Tiberius Vitellius Scaella are guilty of embezzlement, treason, and murder.
That's quite a gallery of crimes you just named. And how does the defendant plead?
I see no reason to comment at this stage. May I humbly remind the Magistra, he who makes the claim has the burden of proof. We shall rest until sufficient proof is presented to eliminate all shadow of a doubt.
I was just trying to be helpful. The defendant is always at a disadvantage.
I'm sure you mean usually and not always.
As you wish. Present your evidence.
Vitellius Scaella, ships were bringing supplies to the armies of Mithridates VI. We have witnessed it firsthand.
And no one else witnessed this event, I assume. How convenient.
The evidence is material, Cicero. There is no room for interpretation. The crates do carry Scaeola's signature.
I have investigated them myself. I concur. Is there anyone who would contest my findings?
I admit, the evidence looks damning.
So, do the defendants admit their guilt? Are the Vitelli guilty of all crimes stated or implied?
Of course not. For starters, the evidence proves only treason.
Only? What else is needed to declare this man infamous?
Do not interrupt the speaker.
No harm done. My dear friend Cato is correct. The evidence is enough to declare one infamous. That one is Tiberius Vitellius Scaevola. Nowhere in any findings can you conjure the ability to implicate my client, Webius Vitellius Lurco.
Treason is a serious crime. Scaevola should receive the highest possible punishment.
That, of course, depends on the nature of the treason. But that's largely irrelevant.
That is literally the topic of our discussion, Cicero. How in the world can you say it's irrelevant?
There simply is no case. Vitellius Scaevola cannot be punished.
Your rhetorical games grow tiresome. You have admitted the evidence is rock solid.
This should be interesting.
Senators, people of Rome, of course the evidence is clear. I accept my brother's guilt. It is a stain on our family name. A stain we will quite possibly never be able to cleanse. You know I love my family. I love my brother more than anything else in this world. Almost anything. The only thing I love more than my own brother is Rome itself. And thus, with sorrow in my heart, I was forced to take his life.
Oh, I see.
Who boasts of fratricide before the whole Senate?
It is not a boast. It is my solemn duty to deliver the news. I am a man with the highest of morals. Someone who places the well-being of Rome over his own flesh and blood. Step outside, senators. You will witness my brother hanging from the old tree. Let him rot there. Do not take him down. Let it be a warning to all those who would threaten Rome, placing their petty family matters over the well-being of our great republic. Let it be known that Webius Vitellius Lurco will never tolerate treason, not even from his own blood.
A decision cannot be reached. This case is non-existent.
What just happened?
That bastard outmaneuvered us. We underestimated how cold-blooded he truly is. This is not good, though. He turned impending defeat into a major victory. We will need a new plan. Go home and lay low for now. Your family needs you.
Son of a bitch. And thank you for the hydrate plus second stretch, Jamie. Ugh, dickheads. He does look like a tool, doesn't he?
Domine, we've been awaiting your return.
I know you, Scavallo's men, from the gladiator school in Fracia.
You have a good memory for faces. The name is Marcellus.
You knew to expect me.
We have been informed by Vitellius Lurco that the ownership of this villa was transferred to you. As per his orders, we kept the area safe until your arrival. Now that you're back, with your permission, we will take our leave.
You may leave.
Valete.
My son? You're back! And with Cineros. Oh, it's so good to see you both safe.
It's good to see you, Domina.
Hey, I leveled up too.
I've missed you so much. You look great. Did you lose some weight? Are you eating well? Has he been eating well, Cineros?
He has, Domina.
Mother, please.
All right, I'll stop talking. But you'll have to tell me everything. Tell me about the war. I heard some of your friends died there. Killed by pirates. How did you survive?
Skill and through luck, I'm glad to be alive.
So am I. You can't guess how glad I am. But did you like the life in the Legion? Do you want to be a career soldier?
I loved it. It was the most liberating, exhilarating experience I've ever had.
I was afraid you'd hate it like your father did. But it seems you're more of a warrior than he was.
Domina, with all due respect, I guess the legatus has his own questions.
How did Scavella's people treat you?
Oh, they were polite, mostly. Except for the fact they wanted me confined to this villa. I guess having me walking around the streets was too much of a risk. Once you were out of the picture. He had no reason to antagonize me, though.
You really think they would have killed me?
I do. And Lucullus agreed. It was a sinister plan to take over our family. But now you're here, and everything will be fine.
Where's Lavanium? Isn't she so supposed to be here?
They told me your sister's husband is dead. She should be free by now. I wonder if they did something to her.
I'm just happy to see Mother alive and well.
It's good to have you home. And for it to be our home again. Now that you're back, we have a lot of work ahead of us. Oh, listen to me. You just got here. Go on, take some time to settle in. Let me know when you're ready to get to work.
Hey, I can still customize my Legion. I want the Aquilia. Okay. Let's level up. We'll do Taunt. Ooh, Shield Wall. Yes. Get duel, why not? We'll do Overwatch. Beautiful.
Your mother has started catching me up on how the vineyards have been going since we left. The harvest was better than expected. That is good news, of course, but it also means we have a problem. One of our grapes produced a particularly good wine. It's an opulent vintage with a smooth finish. Quite frankly, Domine, it is one of the best wines I have ever tasted.
Surely you don't mean that.
Oh, but I do. And you know I've tasted a lot of excellent wines throughout my life. This wine ranks among the best of the best.
Why are you so surprised? Are our wines produced by pure chance?
Winemaking is not an exact science. We do follow recipes, but we are subject to the whims of Dionysus. Every now and then he favors you, and you may produce a wine of this caliber.
Opulent, what does that even mean?
It means the wine has a rich and smooth taste. An opulent wine is a bold wine.
I see.
Do not worry. Wine terminology can be weird and obscure. You will get used to it in time.
All of this sounds like good news. What's the catch?
The question is what we shall do with this wine. It's certainly worth more than what we normally sell for. It's the best kind of problem to have. It might be a good idea to visit some of the merchants in the market.
I might be heading in that direction today anyway. I could talk to the vintners while I'm there.
Now, before you leave, there's a small thing we have to decide. A good wine deserves a good name. What should we name this one?
Something mysterious like Darkest Rose?
Darkest Rose. Romantic and dangerous. Very well. That being settled, you should go and talk to the wine merchants.
Finally, we're back home, Cineros. Can you believe it?
I had no doubts. You've made everyone proud, and this victory is cause for celebration. I shall cook today.
I don't completely understand how we were allowed to take back the villa back.
Our legal system has its own intricacies, which no one but people like Kikero understand. I'm sure the powers that be worked their magic.
What should I do now?
I don't know. It's your house. Sit back and relax and let your Sir We handle things. Do bear in mind that managing an estate is no simple task, though. Now that your father is no longer with us, you will have to find a way to generate income. I think we should focus on the wine business. There used to be a lot of money in your vineyards.
Are they?